Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's another week, another video, and we're going to be learning how to make this fancy pencil dress. So it's easy and straightforward as usual, beginner friendly. So yeah, let's get right into the video. Stay tuned. Alright, so for the materials needed, you're going to need your fabric. So I ended up using about 1.5 meters of fabric. So this is the fabric I'm going to be using. So the cream colored fabric, and I was also going to use this pink fabric to line it. So as you can see, I ended up changing my mind and I went with a nude kind of fabric, a nude satin like fabric. And as you can see, the top fabric is a netty kind of fabric. It's really soft and I really liked it. Alright, so moving on to the patterns needed, you're going to need your basic sleeve block, and you're also going to need a basic bodice pattern, back and front. So I already have these patterns drafted. I have a video on how I drafted them and how you can do it as well. It's very detailed and easy to follow along. So please click on the link in the description box below. Make sure to like my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Alright, so next thing you're going to need a sewing machine. You're going to need some pins, and you're going to need cutting scissors. Yeah, that's very important. Alright, so let's get right into the video. So I'm just going to start show you guys from the very beginning, when I was still thinking I was going to use this pink fabric. So I just started off by folding the fabric into two, and I placed my pattern over it. Now I'm just pinning the pattern on the material, and I'm making sure my pattern is placed on that fold. So here I'm just going on to add half an inch to my measurement. This is very much optional. You don't have to do this. I'm only doing this because I wanted to serge and I didn't put a lot of allowance into the pattern itself. So I decided to add 0.5 inches just to accumulate for the serging and all the extra allowance, just so I have enough. So that's why I'm doing that. So go right ahead and measure your hips, and once you get that measurement, you're going to put it at the edge of your fabric, so at the very end of your skirt, and you're going to add 1 inch to that measurement, only because I don't want it to be a pencil look. I want it to be more A-line at the bottom. So yeah, and then go ahead and connect those lines together. Alright, so this is like the next day, and I decided that yeah, out with the pink fabric and in with this fabric. Anyways, I'm just going to do everything I did on the pink fabric. What I did, I'm going to do it on my fabric here. So here I'm just measuring how long I want my dress to be. A tip: make sure to always mark on the wrong side of your fabric. As you can see, I folded my fabric into two, and I'm marking on the wrong side because you don't want chalk lines on your fabric, you know. So always make sure to mark on the wrong side of your fabric. So once you're all done, just go ahead and cut your pattern out. Right, so I'm just repeating the same process for my back pattern, and the only difference here is I'm going to have two pieces for my back. So I decided that I wanted my back neckline to be lower, so I just decided I wanted to be 4 inches, and I went ahead to mark it on my fabric. Once I was done cutting out my pattern, I just went ahead to draw the neckline, and I just cut that extra part out. So here's a huge lip. So I already pinned my dots and I'm just sewing it. So I do this in every video, and I even have a video dedicated to transferring dots and sewing dots. So yeah, please make sure to check that out. Here I'm also sewing my lining as well. So I have gone ahead to cut my lining out and sewing the dot on the lining. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my fabric. So the ones are already cut out, and I'm going to place it on my other fabric, so on the netty fabric. So the aim is to make this nude fabric and the net-like fabric to be one. So I'm going to lay it on top of each other, and I'm going to just sew it all the way around the corners and just make it one fabric. So I'm just pinning the fabrics, so the lace fabric and the nude fabric together. And I must say, this lace netty kind of fabric, it's so pretty, but oh my god, it's one of the hardest fabrics I've ever worked with. This thing was so annoying. It kept getting caught on my pins. It was pretty, but it was so hard to work with it. And I must mention, this lace fabric, I got it from my friend, and she bought it from Value Village. So you guys, don't sleep on Value Village. They have some really nice fabrics there, so check it out. So now I've gone ahead to make the nude fabric and my lace fabric one, and I'm just going to line it. So I used black lining, and one thing I kind of wish I did was I used a nude softer colored lining, because black was just too harsh on this type of fabric. It was on the inside, it didn't affect it, but it played with my mind a bit. So yes, I would recommend, if you are using a nude fabrics like this color, make sure to not line it with black. So just a few things to point out. First of all, the lace fabric I used, it's a bit longer than the nude fabric. That was the look I was going for. So the lace fabric ended up being about 4 to 5 inches longer than my nude fabric. And then also the lining, I decided not to line the dress fully, so I stopped about 10 inches below my hip measurement. I thought it was a waste of fabric to line it all the way through, so yeah, I just decided to do it like that. You can do it anyhow you want it, but I like this method. Once I'm done pinning it, I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew it by 1/2 inch at the neckline, so only at the neckline. So I'm just transferring it to my ironing table right now, and I'm going to take my little scissors and I'm going to cut little snips around the neckline I just stitched. So I'm just doing this because when I turn it to the right side, I want the neckline to lay flat, and I'm also going to iron it to make sure it's flat. Once I've lined all the pieces and I have turned it inside out, I'm going to go ahead and join it together by the shoulder. So this is what it looks like afterwards. So I have already joined it by the shoulder. I'm so sorry, I thought my camera was filming, but it died, so it didn't capture that part when I was joining it. But yes, this is how it looks. I have joined the front piece and the back pieces together at the shoulder. So moving on to my sleeves, I'm using my basic sleeve block, and I decided that I wanted short sleeves, so I'm just modifying the pattern. Then I'm going to grab my lace-like fabric and I'm going to place my pattern over it, and I'm going to cut. As you can see, I folded it, so make sure you fold yours and cut on a fold. Very important. Alright, so now I'm cutting the nude fabric. So I decided to line it as well, the sleeves. I was going to just leave the lace fabric like that, but I changed my mind, so I decided to line it so everything just looks more uniform. So as you can see, I'm taking that over to my machine and I'm making it one fabric. Now I'm just hemming the bottom of my sleeves for the nude material. So now I'm just attaching the sleeves to my dress. So attach both sleeves, and then once you're done with that, take it over to your sewing machine and stitch it down with 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Alright, so here I'm just sewing my sleeves onto the dress, and you guys, after this point I actually stopped filming. I was so over this dress. It was so stressful, so complicated. Well, not complicated, but the fabric was so annoying. It kept getting caught on everything, kept going into my machine. You guys, I just turned off the camera, but it wasn't much that was left. All I had to do was fix the zip, and I already have a video showing you how I fixed my zips, and then I closed the sides up. That's all I did. Oh yeah, and I hemmed the bottom of the dress. Hemming the bottom of the dress was a whole different thing altogether, because every time I'll try to hem it, because the lace is very flimsy, it would go into my machine, so I had to figure out a better way of hemming it. So what I ended up doing was I got a strip of my nude fabric, so it was about 4 inches wide, and when I folded it into 2, it was about 2 inches, and then I ran a stitch all the way down. And then when I did that, I took it over to my lace fabric, to the edge of my dress, and then I just used it as a seam binding of some sort. So I just folded it over like so. So this is a recreation of it because I didn't film it. So that's basically what I did. Once I did that, it was actually so easy, so much easier to hem the bottom of the dress. So that's what I would suggest if you're working with such a flimsy fabric like this. So yeah, that was the dress. I really liked it. I got a lot of compliments on it, although I don't think I would do it again, use this type of fabric again. But yeah, it was an experience, and now I know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.